Tom Hargrove didn't move to Willow Creek to make friends. After 30 years hauling freight across the Midwest, he'd earned his quiet, and he damn well meant to keep it. His new place on Maple Lane wasn't fancy a single-story brick house with a wide lawn and a porch that groaned in the rain, but it was far enough from the world to let him breathe. Distance, that's what he bought, not charm or neighbors with big smiles. Willow Creek seemed like the right fit at first. It was one of those suburbs where every mailbox matched, and folks waved like they were auditioning for a sitcom. Tom didn't care for the enthusiasm, but he figured the rules would keep people in their lanes, Leah V.Y.ing him alone. He showed up to the mandatory HOA meetings, kept his grass cut, and spoke only when spoken to, short and to the point. Respect bought space, and he gave as much as he demanded. For 6 months, it worked. The chatty types tried their luck, but Tom's one-word answers shut them down. He wasn't mean, just firm, like a rock in a stream, letting the current flow around him. Then Lisa Marwood took notice. Lisa lived 3 houses down, a self-styled queen of the block who carried herself like she'd been elected to something. Her yard was a circus of wind chimes, color-coded bins, and signs preaching positive VY. She baked, she organized, she watched. To her, Tom's quiet was a crime, his solitude an insult to her VY shout of togetherness. They'd had 2 talks in 6 months, one when she showed up with a pie and a list of neighborhood themes he brushed off, and another when she nagged him about missing a community walkthrough. He grunted and walked away. No fight, just distance. Then one morning, Tom opened his door and stopped dead. His lawn is pristine. Empty lawn was a sea of pink. Hundreds of plastic flamingos, their long necks stabbing the sky, stood in perfect rows like soldiers in some tacky war. They weren't scattered. They were planted, cemented deep, each one spaced with eerie precision. Some faced his porch, others the street, their black eyes glinting in the dawn. Tiny ribbons fluttered on their necks, and some had plaques with words like hope and joy is contagious. Tom stood there, one hand on the knob, his coffee going cold. He wasn't mad yet, just stunned, like he'd walked into a dream that wasn't his. This wasn't a prank. It was too deliberate, too planned. He stepped out, the smell of plastic and wet dirt hitting him. He tugged at one near the driveway. It didn't budge. Cemented, like a damn tombstone. Then came the clack of heels on pavement. Lisa Marwood strode up, arms wide, her grin so big it looked painful. She wore a shirt screaming "Community is art" in neon letters. "Isn't it glorious?" she chirped, while VYing at the Pink Army. "You're the first stop in our Lee VY-ing art project color against conformity." Tom blinked, then said, "What the hell is this?" Her smile didn't crack. A rotating community piece. Each month, a yard hosts a display of joy. It's collaborative, symbolic. "I didn't sign up," he said, voice flat. "Oh, I know," she said, brighter than the sun. "You were chosen. Your lawn's got the best light, the perfect angle. It's stunning, don't you think?" He didn't answer. He walked through the flock, their eyes following him, some catching shadows that made them look alive. "This is my property," he said. Lisa clapped like he'd won a prize. "Exactly. That's what makes it special, shared space, shared emotion." "I didn't approve this," he said, sharper. Her tone dipped, not angry but firm. "You don't have to. The community circle approved it under the VY Sewell Enrichment Program. It's all legit." He turned to her. "You saying I can't pull these out?" She tilted her head, pity in her eyes. "They stay for 2 weeks. Remo VYing them early could be seen as blocking community expression. You don't want to be that saw guy, do you?" Tom's old self, the one who'd stared down union bosses, wanted to snap. But he learned calm outlasts noise. "We'll see," he muttered, heading inside. Lisa lingered, snapping photos, whispering, "You'll come around." Inside, Tom sat at his kitchen table, the pink glow bleeding through the blinds. This wasn't just annoying, it was a violation. Someone had trespassed, dug up his land, and called it art. Worse, they dressed it in words he couldn't argue with. Community, joy, participation. Fancy terms for control. He didn't act that day. Ripping them out would have fed Lisa's drama, given her a stage. Instead, he watched. The next morning, more flamingos appeared, spiraling toward his porch. One stood on his doormat, neck bent like it was peering inside. He kicked it over, grabbed a crowbar, and tested a few. Some gave way. Others were bolted like they owned the place. By noon, a crowd gathered across the street, Lisa among them, gesturing like a tour guide. Tom watched from his window, face blank. They wanted a show. He wouldn't give them one. He called the township. The receptionist sounded bored, then amused. If it's a community initiative, file an objection with the zoning liaison, she said, giving him an email, no number. The next day, a sign appeared. Enrichment Site the 3, in collaboration with local artists. Lisa's name was scrawled at the bottom with a hashtag. Tom took photos, angles, close-ups, every detail, then drove to town hall. The clerk sighed, parroting the same line. Discretionary use. File an appeal. Tom filled out forms, stapled his photos, and pinned them to a corkboard next to a lost cat flyer. He left feeling like he'd swallowed ash. A landscaper refused to touch the flamingos, citing art preservation fines. That night, Tom sat on his porch, the pink glow taunting him. It wasn't just tacky, it was territorial. You don't cement something into someone's yard unless you think you own it. On day 4, a yellow envelope arrived, notice of non-cooperation. It accused him of obstructing a beautification effort and warned of fines. Tom called Sarah Brooks, a lawyer he'd used years back. She laughed dryly. This is nuts, but it's slippery. No hard laws broken, just soft power dressed up as art. Document everything. Tom nodded. No outbursts, just pressure, slow and steady. Then it got weirder. 2 men in vests showed up, drilling a plaque into his lawn. Unity through color. They waved casually, like they were fixing a pothole. Get off my property, Tom said. This is a registered initiative, one replied, handing him a card with a QR code. Tom didn't take it. He grabbed a shovel, pried the plaque loose, and tossed it aside. That's vandalism, they said. Report it, he shot back. That night, a certified letter arrived, citing him for destroying publicly funded elements. Sarah called it weaponized bureaucracy. They're building a case to paint you as the bad guy, she said. They want you tired. The neighborhood turned colder. Mail stopped coming. Trash wasn't picked up. Neighbors stared, their hellos replaced by silence. At the hardware store, a clerk claimed they were out of fence posts Tom could see stacked in plain sight. It wasn't about supplies, it was about pushing him out. Sarah found a motion to reclassify his lawn as a transitional engagement space, arguing his silence was approval. It's nonsense, she said, but dangerous. That night, Tom found wires under the flamingos, leading to a buried sensor. Sarah's tech eye confirmed it was for crowd tracking. Art was one thing, spying was another. Lisa knocked one evening, her smile tight. Let's compromise, she said. We'll remove half. You pick. Tom stared. You dig up my yard, wire it, and call this a favor? Her face twitched. It's community adaptation. It doesn't have to be a fight. Some things are, he said. She left, her steps heavy. That night, Tom locked his gates, not to stop her, but to show he wasn't bending. Notices piled upurgation violations, awning complaints, vague citations. Sarah called it death by paperwork. But then the city stepped in. Sarah's cease and desist, paired with the censor EVY Denke, forced an ethics re-VYEW. Within days, a crew hauled the flamingos away. No apology, just gone. It should have ended there, but Lisa didn't quit. A banner appeared across the street. Fear rejects progress. Flock forward. Blue flamingos stood beneath, posed like mourners. Social media buzzed, calling Tom unfit for the neighborhood. Strangers snapped photos of his house. A woman let her dog crap on his driveway, staring him down. Sarah got a letter. Lisa's group was appealing the removal, claiming a retroactive permit and naming Tom as the instigator. They want sympathy, Sarah said, and funding. Tom didn't snap. He documented soil damage, cleanup costs, security footage of trespassers. A cryptic note appeared under his doormat. You're fighting the system she built. It doesn't need to be right to win. Sarah called it instructional. At the hearing, Lisa played the VY Tim, her lawyer spinning tales of Tom's aggression. Sarah shredded their claims with footage and facts. The judge was clear. This court doesn't recognize unauthorized installations as rights, nor boundaries as hostility. Case dismissed. Lisa left without a glance. Tom erased her traces: new grass, gravel, a solid gate, and a sign. No soliciting. No instalaciones. He added cameras, bright lights. Lisa's banners popped up elsewhere. Her flamingos smaller, subtler, but Tom's lawn stayed clean. Neighbors nodded now, not warmly, but with respect. A note from a retiree, Ed Waller, read, "You stood up. It mattered." One last flamingo appeared, left at his driveway. Tom burned it in a drum, watching it melt into nothing. The war ended not with a bang, but with silence hard-won, deliberate silence. Willow Creek moved on, its hedges neat, its sunsets predictable. Tom's yard was blank, not just clean, but claimed. The quiet wasn't just absence, it was VY Tory. He sat on his porch, coffee in hand, not waiting for the next fight, but knowing he'd won this one. Some days, that silence roared louder than any banner. So what do you think? Was Tom a hero for standing his ground, or a stubborn loner who missed the point of community? Is Lisa a VY Cyanary or a bully hiding behind art? Where's the line between personal rights and collective goals? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more stories that make you think.